Good evening, Fernwood. It is your time-bending friend Neil here, and it's time for us to take some twists and turns with another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 160 from November 12th, 1976. Let's recap. Mary yesterday continued writing in her notebook and noted that she is ambivalent about the relationship with Tom. She enjoys the sex, but feels that Tom isn't necessarily seeing her as more than a sex object. Tom, for his part, seems appreciative of Mary, but doesn't notice that she is having these feelings. Over at the Capri Lounge, Kathy meets with the Adamses, who want her to give them a second chance at adoption. Not only that, they want her to have a second baby that would be fathered by Brian. Loretta stops over for a visit and is excited by Jody and Charlie's drag racing plans. She is also still quite sexually frustrated. Jody shows up and Mary notes that that boy is trouble. Later at the Capri Lounge, Merle comes clean with his past as a lustful man that he has since repented from. Not only is Wanda glad that he hasn't entirely given up on sex, but sees this as a political opportunity. And then finally back at the Shumways, Martha is wondering how to make ends meet without an income. And when Detective Johnson, or HB as he introduces himself, stops by for a visit, Martha lets him know that George is on his way, at least according to Jack and Jill, and Detective Johnson smells a scam. HB then suggests that Martha could be an actor in police training videos, and they hear a scream next door from the Gimbles. Detective Johnson pulls his gun, and they are heading straight over. And that's all the recap I've got. Let's begin.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
Police! All right, freeze. Now, start talking. Who are you and what's going on?
Mrs. Gimble, I live here.
Oh, that's right. I recognize you from the Mary Hartman Homecoming Day celebration. You're Mary's nurse. I'm Mrs. Shumway.
I'm Pat.
All right, hold it. Just hold it right there, Buster. Who is this character? A prowler? A rapist? Did he rape you? Don't be afraid to tell me. I've taken the police training course in interviewing rape victims. I'll be helpful and understanding, and I will not ask suggestive questions.
This is my husband.
It's funny. He looks just like a rapist they had on Adam 12.
You're sure it's your husband?
Oh, of course. Dear, this is Mary's mother, Mrs. Shumway, from next door.
Nice to meet you, dear. How are
Hello.
you?
And this is my friend, Detective Johnson from the Fernwood Police Force.
How do you do?
Very well. How are you, sir?
Actually, I wanted to bake you a cake, but there wasn't any time.
A mighty powerful grip, sir.
Anyway, welcome to our neighborhood. And I hope you weren't raped, because I wouldn't want you to have that impression of this neighborhood.
But we did hear screams, and I'd like to get to the bottom of this. Just for the record, who screamed?
Nobody. I mean, everything's perfectly all right. You can put the gun away.
Wait a minute.
Now, I know what you're going to say.
This could be a setup I've seen before. A criminal has broken and entered your premises and is holding your child at gunpoint, threatening to kill the child if you reveal the presence of said criminal. Now, just everybody, don't move. I'll handle this.
Officer, our son is away at military school.
Then who is the subject the criminal is holding at gunpoint?
No one. There's no criminal.
Let's just start from the top. If nobody screamed in the other room at gunpoint, who screamed?
My wife.
Which doesn't mean he thinks I'm nobody.
Why?
It's perfectly simple, officer. We were watching television.
You see?
The new treasure hunt.
Yeah, we watch it all the time, don't we, sweetheart?
Yes, love.
She just loves it. You know how women are. And sometimes when it gets real exciting, she just can't control herself and she screams. Isn't that right?
Oh, it's the God's truth.
Yeah, she's all woman. You know, where we used to live, the neighbors got used to the screaming. I hope it won't be too disturbing for you, Mrs. Shumway.
Oh, no, I'm used to strange occurrences. Did I ever tell you how my husband disappeared?
Your daughter Mary did.
Oh,
Well, now that we have this all straightened out, won't you sit down? You know, you're just about the first visitors we've had in this new house of ours since we've been settled.
Home.
oh, why, thank you.
Please do sit down.
I'm Garth,
H.V. Johnson.
and this is my wife, Pat.
Bless your heart. What's happened to your foot?
Oh, Dad, it's nothing.
But you're limping.
Well, it was a small accident. We were moving in our Sears Posturepedic mattress, and when we crossed over the threshold,
Just like newlyweds.
that's right, sugar love. Anyway, I tripped over a pot of mums, and I rolled over the Posturepedic mattress onto a collapsible bird cage, which pulled on a wire that was hooked around the bookcase, which then fell right on my foot.
That's right, it's just one of those little things. You know, moving is always such a trial, isn't it, darling?
Yes, love, it certainly is.
Although I'll say one thing about when we move. No matter where we move to, it's always a little love nest, isn't it, Buttercakes?
Yes, love.
Oh, that is so nice. Having such loving couples move into our neighborhood. We have a very nice neighborhood, but most of the married people do fight like cats and dogs.
Oh, that's awful.
Well, I suppose it's only natural and normal for married people, I mean. Of course, if there's only one, then there is much less fighting, except for the children.
The trouble with children today is they don't respect the older generation. That's what causes juvenile delinquency.
I think the children need more discipline, frankly. I think discipline and order builds strong character. I think every child should have military training.
Certainly is easier than Dr. Spock, as long as they aren't drafted. But now, juvenile delinquency, I thought most of that was caused by drugs. Now, we don't have any drug problem in this neighborhood.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, Mrs. Turnbull, she's your next door neighbor, she told me that she tried marijuana once, but she's never done it again.
She didn't like it.
Oh, yeah, she liked it. She said it made her feel very, very relaxed. But now when she wants to relax, she just takes some pills that her doctor prescribes for her, and it is much less expensive, you see, than marijuana.
And legal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to introduce you to Mrs. Turnbull. Oh, you're going to like her. She is a lovely lady and a wonderful mother.
I take it she and her children don't fight.
Oh, no, they are lovely children. I always say the children are usually a reflection of their parents.
Just as your lovely daughters are a reflection of you, Martha.
Well, I don't know if they're exactly a reflection or not. I've never had a nervous breakdown like Mary, and of course, Kathy has had certain difficulties that I have never had. But Mrs. Turnbull's children are very much like her. She is very relaxed these days, and they are very quiet.
Not from smoking marijuana, I take it.
Actually, I'm in a position to know that marijuana has different effects on different people. Our studies show that it turns some of them into raving maniacs with no sexual restraints. Oh, pardon the expression, ladies.
Well, anyway, Mrs. Turnbull's children don't need marijuana to quiet them. Whenever they want to relax, why, she just gives them some of her pills.
Doll baby, I think maybe you ought to make some coffee
Yes, love.
and step on it.
Mary, come on in. Come on in. It's good to see you. Come on in and sit down. Jody and Loretta are down at the hardware store. They're getting me something.
Charlie, I have to talk to you.
Sure, Mary, go ahead. Talk away.
I feel it's time that you have to deal with your alpha.
You what? What are you talking about? What's my alpha?
Your alpha, that's a brainwave, your alpha. It's your very relaxed state. Your alpha state is when your mind is most open to suggestion, and I feel that your mind needs a suggestion, Charlie.
Mary, what are you getting to?
Charlie, I can't unknow what I already know.
Mary, now, I love you dearly, but don't mess around with my marriage, huh? I mean, a third party is not what we need right now.
Charlie, I don't think I'm the third party that you have to watch out for.
What does that mean?
Well, I just think that you should stop figuring out, how to spend time on other people's performances and start figuring out how to spend more time on your own performance.
Oh, Mary, I tried everything and nothing works, and it's not something I feel I have to discuss with you.
I know. Charlie, that's why I brought you this.
What? Instant Alpha Kit, 1 hour to a happier you.
I read about it in People magazine. Norman Mailer swears by it. I think it's how he wrote his last book.
Mary, what in the world? You're treating me like I'm some old motor that needs tuning up or something.
Charlie, if you can tune up a motor, you can tune up a psyche. Let me tell you how this works, okay? What it does is you plug in this machine, and what it does is it helps you get to your alpha state. When you're alpha state, when you're in there, your mind is very suggestible to things. So what I brought along here is a few suggestible cassettes that you put into this machine. Now, on some of these suggestible cassettes, here's one like, for example, improve your tennis backhand, okay? Another one is be an executive overnight. Another one is wake up your sex life. Now, my feeling is that you should take, one of these cassettes, preferably, wake up your sex life, and just put it in the machine, and then, there are the earphones.
Hi. Oh, we have got some of the most exciting news to tell you.
Loretta, don't do it.
What? Listen, we just got to tell you something. Jody's got to tell you something. Go on, Jody, tell him.
Loretta, now listen to me for 1 minute. Just listen to me 1 minute. You cannot throw away everything you've ever had for one incredible cheap thrill.
Mary, what are you talking about, hon? Come on, Jody, tell him.
Well, Charlie, I've been talking to Loretta and all about how I feel, and I just think it's time that you knew. I want you to be my manager.
Your manager?
Is that a euphemism?
I'll give you 10% everything.
10% of everything? Did you hear that, honey? 10% of everything?
Now, that is if I can just win the Ohio 500 in Youngstown this weekend.
You're going to win it, man. Oh, honey, that's marvelous. That's great. You're going to win that. You're going to win it in a walk. You're going to win it walking away, honey.
I bet you're hungry. Are you hungry? I'm going to go to the kitchen and fix him something to eat, okay?
All right.
Congratulations.
Far out, Jody. Did you hear that, Mary? 10% of everything if he wins the Ohio 500 at Youngstown?
Yeah, Charlie, I have a feeling he's going to win much more than that unless you start to use that alpha brain kit real quick.
Guess what? I am going to be an actress.
Is this a joke?
Mary, this is not a joke now. Detective Johnson got me a job acting
In what, police training films?
in police training films.
Ma, you can't do that.
Why not?
Because it's a very unrespectable thing to do. I know all about those things. Tom was in the Army. He told me all about those things. No respectable mom would do something like that.
Oh, these are not Army training films. George told me all about Army training films. They are about VD and prophylactics. This is a police training film, about rape and muggings.
No, I'm sorry. I will not have my mother raped, not even for a major movie career. I'm awfully sorry about that. I mean, if you look at the Army films that the federal government of the United States of America puts out and you see how dirty they are, can you imagine what the police films that come out of Fernwood, Ohio are going to be like?
Well, I'm sure HV wouldn't want me to do anything naughty.
HV? Who's HV?
Detective Johnson.
Mary, I have got to talk. Oh, hi, Mrs. Shumway.
Oh, Loretta, how are you, honey?
Poor. Mostly poor.
Why, what's wrong?
So sweet of you to ask, Mrs. Shumway. I really appreciate it, because to tell you the truth, I do need a motherly shoulder to cry on, but I can't tell you because it's very personal, and it has to be told to somebody as close as Mary and I am. No offense.
How could I be offended just because I can't share in the neighborhood's gossip when I'm already so depressed over everything? And Mary did it today, just from talking to her.
Ma?
Yeah, it's true, Mary. You are very depressing. I came over here to get a little encouragement about my new job, and now you have accused me of being a middle-aged Linda Lovelace. I am leaving. Goodbye.
I have just got to... Oh, did I say hello?
No.
Hello, Mary.
Hi.
I'm so frustrated, I can hardly stand it. I don't know if I'm coming or going.
The tapes didn't work on Charlie?
Mary, I may as well have been in bed with a dead fish.
I'm so sorry that didn't work. I mean, Loretta, I really know what you're going through. I'm going through just the opposite. I mean, I don't know what it is with Tom, but all we have to do is get nearer.
Mary, don't. Don't do it. It's like holding a T-bone steak in front of a starving dog.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Of course, I'm not the only one that's suffering. I mean, poor little old Charlie's suffering too, and...
Well, maybe he's suffering more, Loretta, because it is his disability.
Mary, he ain't quite as disabled, see, as he thinks he is.
What do you mean? You think it's a psychological block?
Exactly. See, it's his mind what needs curing, not his body. Now, I mean, he just won't believe Dr. Furman, you know? I mean, that's all there is to it. He's got to believe him about that. You know what he wants to do?
Who, Dr. Furman?
No, Charlie. He wants to have an operation by a doctor that he saw advertised in the back of a girly magazine about a transplant.
A transplant? A transplant on, that? Is it possible?
Mary, I don't want to say anything not nice about somebody I don't even know. But I've been thinking about this more and more lately, and I've changed my mind because it seems to me that a man who advertises in the back of a magazine that got pictures in it that ought to break a camera shouldn't be trusted.
You know what, Loretta? I think you may be going to the wrong doctor. My feeling is you should get a fourth opinion.
Well, I'll tell you, Charlie wants to give that man $5,000 of our dollars. Do you believe it? If he believed Dr. Furman, he could cure himself for free.
I got it.
What?
Make him jealous.
What do you mean?
Make him jealous with another man. I saw it on Love of Life. I saw it on As the World Turns. They did it on The Guiding Light. Now, they didn't do it well, but that was just a question of taste.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that they had that story on not one, not two, but 3 soap operas about a man what got shot up with a shotgun?
No. It was a man who had a psychological problem. His wife helped him solve the problem. You can learn a lot about psychology from soap operas.
I see. You mean the wife helped solve the problem with psychologies?
No. She had an affair with another man.
Oh, no, Mary. Nope. No, if what you're saying, if what you are saying here is that I should have another affair or an affair at all with another man other than my sweet, precious darling Charlie, I put my foot down over my dead body. Absolutely not. No, because, I mean, the worst thing that is, Mary, that in my own little mind I have had sort of strays off into that area, and that's bad enough, but I would not do it in the flesh, live, and in person.
No, I wasn't asking you to do that. I mean, I understand that. I wouldn't ask you to do that. You know me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying to make Charlie think that you're having an affair with someone else. Think it.
Oh, I see. Think it. That's
Yeah.
different. Of course, it wouldn't be different for Charlie, but it would be different in the eyes of the Lord. Do you think it would work?
Well, I don't know. They had wonderful success with it on Search for Tomorrow for 1 full week. But then, I'll tell you, I couldn't really tell the next week because the character in question was eliminated by a truck.
Yeah, well, I think it might be worth a try. The only problem is I don't have a clue who to do it with. I mean, who not to do it with.
Jody.
Here it comes. Here.
Shh.
Hi, Tom Hartman here, sales manager for Donnellies RV City, headquarters for the best in recreational vehicles. I know that everyone loves their home, so when you go on vacation, why not take your home with you? Whether you have a family or want to get away from your family, but stay in your home, we've got the right RV for you. The perfect getaway to roll away to a new horizon. And it's the best deal in town, too. Low down payments, easy financing, custom made to your specifications. No matter how bizarre you want it, we got it. And if you buy now, you'll qualify for our super bonus special, a fabulous all-expense-paid motorist vacation to the moaning caves of Mount Washington, considered to be haunted by ghosts of the Revolution. A bicentennial must. And it's all yours when you sign that new lease on life at Donnellies RV City, off Stratman Boulevard, right off of Route 12, next to the Galapina Cannery, and across from the city dump. Remember, RV City, where your pleasure is on wheels, and our pleasure is to serve you.
Well, that's it. How'd you like it?
You were wonderful. You were wonderful. It was so much better than you rehearsed it. Oh, Tom! Tom, that was wonderful. I mean, you had warmth, and you talked so loud. Oh, Tom. Oh, it was wonderful. It was just wonderful.
You know what? Hey, you know what? Come here.
What?
You're pretty wonderful yourself. You know that, huh?
I am?
Yeah.
I'm wonderful?
Huh?
Do you really think so?
I really do, yeah.
How?
Well, in a lot of ways.
Thanks, Tom. That's nice. Name one. Just name one way I'm wonderful.
Well, the way your moods change. You know, like this morning you were really grumpy, and tonight you're all smiles and happy.
Well, I don't know. I was thinking about today. You know, I've had a lot of time to think about it, and I was thinking, I just have a lot to be happy about, so why not be happy? I mean, it's silly not to be happy, especially if there's nothing to be sad about, right?
I'll buy that.
I mean, everything's going so great. I mean, I just can't believe it. I mean, it's like you and your job and, you know, that television commercial, and you talked so loud.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so surprised. Oh, and your warmth. And also, you know, I was talking to Charlie and Loretta, and I just feel like I may have the solution to their problem. And also, Ma, that's a big help that she doesn't have to worry about money because of her new job. So, you know, all in all.
Wait, I'll get it.
Pat, what happened to you?
Oh, my God. Mary.
Oh my God. Look.
This is amazing. Did you know that I was going to mop and glow my floor today? It's a good thing I didn't.
Is this what I think it is? And I think we were just getting to know the Gimbles. I think we were just getting to know Pat and Garth, and yeah, that's not a pretty relationship, or at least, sorry, I'm still a little bit shocked. It's we've seen abuse, and we've seen the results of what looks like physical abuse, and we've seen the emotional abuse, but all right, I'm gonna cut back to the beginning because that was a lot, and hold on. So we get to the Gimble household, at least Martha and HB do, and gun drawn, and of course HB is just gonna draw a gun on anything, which is not professional police behavior. And it appears that things are hunky-dory as far as the Gimbles are concerned, with just a seed of like something different between the two of them. And Martha and HB, well, HB is just suspicious of everything, but Martha welcomes them to the family, suggests that Garth looks like a rapist from Adam 12. I need to look up if Martin Mull was actually cast in Adam 12 in that kind of role. And wow, they're welcomed too, and I thought that's where we were going to be, but apparently not. then Mary brings her A-wave machine to Charlie, and Charlie's been through a lot apparently, and it's not getting past whatever's in his mind. As the doctors continue to say, it's in his mind and not physiological. So who knows? But then Loretta and Jody show up, and they clearly have some chemistry. They appear to have some, energy between them. But Loretta is still like doting for Charlie, and even though she is frustrated, Mary sees perhaps things the way that I see things a little bit. Then Martha comes over to visit Mary, and Mary is discouraging to Martha's idea of going to be an actor in a police training films. And police training is definitely not what Mary suggests. And of course, Martha, when she leaves, references Linda Lovelace, who was in a very popular movie of the time, which also shares a pop culture reference with the Watergate investigation, which was a few years earlier. But Mary is quite discouraging to Martha, and I think Martha probably deserves a little bit more confidence, especially considering she needs money. Loretta comes over and is still quite frustrated, and Mary then suggests that she play on Charlie's jealousy, that Loretta should play on Charlie's jealousy, and that's just really odd. It's really odd, coming from Mary especially, and even Mary admits that, it sounds a little bit weird coming from her mind, at least when Loretta thought that Mary was suggesting that she would sleep with someone. But of course she sees this Jody and Loretta chemistry and thinks that that's the right way to push things. And considering that Annie and Tom have an energy that immediately puts Mary on edge, even though there's no sexual element to it, that's a really odd suggestion coming from Mary's mouth. Then Tom and Mary finally watch Tom's commercial, which is nice, and then Mary digs into what Tom sees in Mary beyond sex. And sex isn't even a thing that Tom brings up. I mean, he doesn't necessarily bring up actions that Mary does as much as qualities that Mary has, but I think that Tom and Mary see the relationship quite differently. And in this case, I'm behind Tom. But I understand that Mary sees things differently. And perhaps digging into what Mary sees is what we need to be doing. I don't know. Tell me what you think Mary is seeing, because I'm not sure. Or rather, I know exactly what she says, but I'm not sure why she sees things the way she does. And then I am still experiencing chills at seeing Patty at the door like that, collapsing into Tom's arms. And maybe it's because I've been watching a few too many videos from that chapter, which are all murder and disappearance related videos. But okay, let me just put up a link. This is gonna be a card for that chapter, because youch. But watching Patty come in the door like that, after we understand that she has been through abuse, is terrifying and horrible. It's probably, if this is a death, the worst one that I've seen on this show. So everyone, please put some comments down. Let's talk about this, because I need to process it, and I want to hear what you have to say, because, maybe I'll see it differently, or maybe I need to figure out how I'm feeling right now. And maybe we need to figure out how we're feeling right now. I don't know how you're feeling. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching with me. Thank you for coming back and time bending. We will see you next week in Fernwood.